Welcome to another week of your Arkansas football recruiting report. I'm Will Monclear. He's Otis Kirk. Otis, we've had a terrible week of news. Ryan Mallett tragically passing away down there in Florida this week. I've
Yeah,
had the opportunity to meet Ryan a couple times. But you've been covering this team for decades.
yeah.
Um, what's your
I
favorite memory of Ryan?
Man, it'd be hard to pick one, but I met Ryan when he was in junior high, he came to football camps up here and he and I just connected, and I mean every year he would come back to camp till his senior year. He just kept coming back to camp and he'd always look me up and everything. And I just really got attached to the kid. He very good quarterback, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying, but just good person. Just like everybody else, made a few mistakes along the way. We all do that, but he really settled into his coaching job at Whitehall, gotten a new relationship, and seemed to be doing really happy. He was just up here a couple of weeks ago at a 7-on-7 camp or 7-on-7 tournament, but at a football camp. But yeah, it's just bad news. Just continues. I mean, been a run of it lately, and it's none of it's good. I mean, but yeah, Ryan was just a man. He was one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen. He had a strong arm, and just every time I'd see him, he had that smile on his face. Man, I mean, always good to see, glad to see me. And talked and just really thought the world of him. To be honest with you. Yeah, he and Madison were down in Florida vacation. They had a dead week last week, dead period on high school football, and so they went down there, and it's a tragic ending.
Yeah, Otis, you were actually the one who broke the news to us. What was it like when you first heard this news?
Well, I had sent when I first heard it, I didn't want to believe it, so I sent Alyssa, Dudley, and Lanny a text or email, maybe. I guess it was an email. Just ask them, "Have you heard anything on Ryan?" And then they didn't reply, or maybe they did. I don't. It was I was so stunned. I don't even know if they replied. Alyssa eventually called me. Yeah, I was just hoping it wasn't true. And then but I had an ex-Razorback that knew Ryan. He was also down there. He told me it was true, and told me where Ryan was at and everything. And I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it's kind of like Deion Stutz. It's kind of like Chris Smith. I mean, it just you don't want to believe that stuff. You hope there's a mistake, although deep down there's not a mistake. Will I knew it was true. I was just hoping somebody would tell me, no, Ryan's still alive. He's still okay. That was just a false rumor. You don't want anyone to start a false rumor about somebody dying, but on the other hand, you sure wish they had. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's just a deal where you wish it wasn't true. You don't really care about anything else. You just wish it wasn't true. But yeah, I was stunned, man. That was the last thing I wanted to hear that day. Was just Ryan had. It's been, like I said, it's been one thing after another for about the last few weeks here, and that's really bad news. But I really liked him. I got to know him when he was a kid. He grew up, never changed. I talked to him the last time I saw Ryan. I mean, it was like, "You still doing this?" Just always glad to see me. Like I said, man, we talked and we hit off. He was just a kid. He'd come to camp, just a little kid. I mean, he started coming to these camps. And I don't know why. We just seemed to hit it off. And he was just somebody that would come up to me every year at the camp and we'd hang out and I'd write stories about him, talk to him, and really enjoyed Ryan. I just enjoyed being around him. And then, as I said, you know, he he seemed to be the happiest though lately that I've ever seen him. Will just with his new relationship, which that makes a difference with anybody. You get in the right relationship, you can be in a bad one that can be worse than nightmare. But you get in the right one, it's great. And he got in a good relationship he was happy with, had a job, head coaching job, and he felt like that he had something to teach those kids and and make set an example for them, and he was really proud that he was in a position to do that because Ryan had made mistakes along the way, like I said earlier, all of us do. I mean, and not any judgmental tone at all on that. I mean, just we all do. But Ryan really seemed to be at peace with everything going on right now, and it's just something I didn't want to believe when I heard the news. Will
Yeah, I
still
can
don't want to believe
absolutely
it. I
agree with
mean, I
that.
know it's true, but I
I
still wish it was.
I looked at Alyssa on Friday and asked her how she was doing the news because she was really taken back by it. And she had a similar sentiment that she just still couldn't believe that it was real. And I also agree with what you say there. He absolutely loved being a coach. I only ever knew head coach Ryan, and that man was truly happy in his role. And
Yeah,
I agree with you there. He felt like he had something to teach those kids, and he made it his life goal there to to teach
and
him.
when
I can only
when
imagine how the school is doing.
yeah, yeah, you get with the right person too, it can change your entire life because I've been through relationships, marriages, and bad marriages, good bust up. I mean, you just get with the. It can be it's living hell if you're in a bad relationship or marriage. But if you're with the right person, it's nice and it's so important. And I think all that combined with Ryan, the fact that he'd gotten older, he'd matured. He'd gotten more mature, got a good relationship and had a kind of a dream job being the head coach. I'm not saying he dreamed to coach a what, but he dreamed being a head coach because he could teach those kids so much. And I think it was just a combination of everything. Just a shame, but life's not fair. Nobody ever promised us it would be, but life is not fair, and that was a perfect example of why it's not. I mean, you've got a guy that's living happiest he's been in years, and it's taken away from him. You just don't know why. I mean, things happen though, right? It's just just part of it, man.
Otis, it really is terrible news. Ryan, one who will be truly missed. I didn't know him as well as obviously other people did know him, but I will miss the guy as well.
Yeah,
That being said, we do need to talk about recruiting news today as well. And I want to be positive for these kids because it is a big time in their lives. We're going to start things off
yeah.
with Chris Johnson Jr., cornerback from El Dorado, Texas. My northern
Alito,
is showing.
Texas, I
Ooh.
believe is how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
Alito.
yeah.
Anyways,
El
teammate of
Dorado?
Jaden
No.
Alito. Yeah, I believe
Mhm.
Alito from Texas. Teammate of Jaden Allen, who's committed to Arkansas, also a cornerback. Chris will be announcing on July the 4th at 3 p.m. And when I give you these times, these are approximate times. I mean, these things very seldom go off on time, but the time I have is 3 p.m. on July the 4th. It's between Arkansas, Arizona State, and Oregon. He visited Arkansas recently. In fact, all these kids have visited Arkansas recently. But Chris would be a nice get. Jaden's obviously recruiting him hard for the Razorbacks. We'll see where he goes. I think it will be Arkansas or Oregon on him.
Yeah, and now we're going to jump to a wide receiver. Ashton Bethel Roman, wide receiver from Missouri City, Ridge Point, Texas. Wow, that's a long one.
Yeah.
Never
Well,
heard of that town.
yeah. Missouri City.
Is
They've
that
had
is
some
that the
players
official
there.
name? I don't want to get off track here.
Yeah. Niall Davis was from, I believe Niall Davis was from there. They've had other people that were from Missouri City too. But I want to say Niall Davis was
Yeah.
from there. Uh, it's near Houston, by the way.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, Ashton is a kid. His dad was Mark Rum, played running back at LSU. Ashton was a 4-star wide receiver down to Arkansas, Texas Tech, and Oregon. It seemed like Arkansas and Oregon are getting mentioned a lot. Also on July the 4th, he comes in about an hour after Chris. In fact, if Chris runs over, they may overlap. But Ashton's going to announce at 4 o'clock on July the 4th, and 4-star wide receiver. I feel pretty good about Arkansas' chances with him. Will he had a good visit here? All these kids are talented players, or we wouldn't be talking about. But Ashton's really got some talent. Probably the highest rated kid we will talk about today. I think most of these are 4-stars, but
Mhm.
he's a really high 4-star, and so our mid to high 4-star. He's really got some talent. Had a lot of offers.
Oh wow. All right. And the next one we're going to jump to, I was going to say Courtney's going to love this one. I thought it said Gainesville. It doesn't. It says Greensville. Alex Foster, defensive tackle from Mississippi.
Yeah, St. Joseph High School down in Greenville. Alex is kid I feel really good about. 6'5", 275. the recruiting services list him at 250 for the most part. That's not accurate. He is 275. He is big. And Charlie Collins and Kavion Henderson recruit him really hard. Arkansas, Baylor, or Georgia Tech or his three. Feel really good about Arkansas. He's on July the 10th at noon, by the way, about noon. So, but I think the Arkansas will get him, and Deke Adams strikes again if that's the case. I mean, now he's obviously had a lot of help from, Marcus Woodson, Travis Williams, and Darren Wilson, and Sam Pittman. But Deke is be his position coach here at Arkansas, and if they can get him, and I think they will, that'll be a big pickup for the Razorbacks. I guess that would be next Monday.
Yeah.
Now, I know it is. It's next Monday.
Okay.
At noon.
Now we got a couple hometown kids we got to talk about. A couple Arkansans. Brian Huff, linebacker from Valley View. Let's start there.
Yeah, that's near Jonesboro for anybody that doesn't know. Brian is a big linebacker, big kid, about 6'4", probably 230, something like that, 225. Between 225 and 230 varies. But Arkansas, Missouri, UNLV, and Central Florida are the four finalists for Brian. Arkansas was really good shape with him when Coach Shear was here. And they've done a good job recruiting him, Arkansas has. But, when the coaching changeover, some other schools came in. I think Missouri's made some inroads. We'll see where he goes. He visited all four of those schools. I do know Travis Williams made a very good presentation to him when he was here on his official visit. Really made a good impression on him with the presentation that Coach Williams had, showing him what he would do. So he is July the 12th at 6 p.m. Over in Jonesboro. He will announce at 6 p.m. If you're interested, you can see on his Twitter the exact place. But 6 p.m. in Jonesboro on July the 12th.
Okay, all right, that one's rolling up, and now. This one from Benton, Arkansas. The first running back we talked about today, Braylon Russell. What do you know about him?
Yeah. Well, I know we've talked about him a lot on here. Well, he and Brian both. Braylon was once committed to Arkansas, and he decommitted. Now it's probably going. Well, he's visited Arkansas, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Baylor. I think this comes down.
So he decommitted to put Arkansas back on the list.
Yeah.
With several other schools. All right, interesting.
Yeah, he wouldn't get any offers. Now he's gotten offers. About 6'2", 230. He was just up here. They won the 7-on-7 tournament that he played in here at University of Arkansas. And then that on a Wednesday, and then that weekend he was here for an official visit. I think this will come down to Arkansas and Tennessee. South Carolina could sneak in there. I really look for this to be Arkansas or Tennessee, though. He's a 4-star, big running back. Can do it all, basically. I mean, just a big kid, 6'2", 230. So, I mean, that speaks for itself, and he's got speed. So, but he is July the 14th at 6:30 at his high school, 6:30 at night on us.
Are you going to either of these?
I've got to see.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Lanny yet, but yeah, I would assume so. But yeah, I've got to talk to Lanny. July the 14th at 6:30 is Braylon's announcement date. But there's between those schools that I just named.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're going to end things off in West Virginia. Fletcher Westfall.
Yeah, this kid's huge, man. He's about 6'9", probably 340, 350. I mean, it's a big kid. He is a very big kid. He's just July the 10th. I got him out of line there. I left him out and I sent it to you late. I should have talked about him earlier. He's July the 10th.
Bonus players.
And I don't have a time on him, Will. I don't have a time on him. I just know it's July the 10th. But it's between Arkansas, Clemson, Florida, and Georgia. And there again, this could come down. Honestly, this could come down to Arkansas or Clemson.
Yeah.
And whoever gets him is getting a dandy. And I think Arkansas made up some ground because I think he was going to Clemson. I felt like he was going to Clemson, but when he took an official visit here to Arkansas, I think that helped. Well, it helped him. Will it be enough to overcome Clemson? I don't know, but we'll see. But, but Fletcher was going with his family on vacation, planned to be back in Leesburg on July the 7th, which is coming up, I guess that's Thursday. And, I guess that's Friday. But anyway, getting back on the 7th, he said he would make an announcement on the 10th. He felt like that get home on Friday and taking the weekend to talk everything over after the vacation, that they would have he would have a decision on that Monday. So whoever gets him, kind of like these other kids I've talked about, he's a 4-star, big time offensive tackle. I I don't know. I think Alex Foster's a 3-star, which should be a 4-star. Most of these are 4-star kids, and Alex Foster should be. Like I said, he's 275, not 250. But these are all very good players. They've got a ton of offers. They've got their options down. They've narrowed it down. They've taken their visits. Now we're going to get some announcements on it. We'll see how many of these kids. I don't know. I think we talked about 6 today.
Yeah.
We'll see how many of these 6 become Razorbacks.
Yeah.
They want them all. They want them all, Will.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll get them all, but we'll see how many of the 6 that Sam and his staff can get. If they can get them all, that'd be great.
It'll be exciting to see how many Sam and his staff can get here. If those listening want to mark any of these dates down on their calendar, who do you think we should be, not to say the most excited about, but who do you think we need more than others? Who should Razorback fans be really excited about if we were to get them?
Yeah, all of them. I mean, to be honest, I know that's straddling the fence, but I'm just saying these are all need players. I mean, Fletcher Westfall's an offensive tackle. They don't have one committed to this class. Brian Huff be a good linebacker. Running back, you've got running backs, but you never get too many. But Alex Foster, defensive tackle. I mean, right now, getting Ashton, like I said, he is a big time receiver, probably the highest rated kid on this list, although they're all right there. But I think you ought to be excited about all of them. I tend to usually go with the in-state kids. If you could get Braylon and Brian, you go with the in-state kids because they're all, inside the state of Arkansas. But if I'm Arkansas fans and you get these kids, excited about all of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Otis, exciting to see what we'll be talking about next week with all these kids announcing. But that's going to do it for your Arkansas football recruiting report. Otis, thank you as always, and thank you for everybody at home for watching.